Are we in
Gio's
it?
still mad quiet.
Yeah, I'll keep it brief and then we can go ahead and jump into it.
What?
We got some regulars here, so it should be fine. All right, episode 14 in perspective. A lot of things happened this week, which I hope Liggett will shed some light on. But aside from that, we're gonna be talking about some masculinity later on in the podcast. But we go through the usual motions in the beginning, looking at some memes, um, potentially talk about news and other pop culture subjects. But yeah, dude, hop into these memes real quick. Be
What's up,
interesting.
yo?
What's going on, Nate? Oh yeah, you guys can introduce yourselves. Forgot
All
about
right,
that.
go ahead. Am I still low though?
No, you good. I turned you up. I'll go
Turn
ahead
me
and
up. Turn my headphones
turn my
up.
headphones up. Do a
My
quick
headphones.
introduction,
Yo, we
everybody.
having like that one like famous person on here or something. I thought we were gonna have like a special someone or something. Maybe not.
Nah, stuff fell through.
Oh, that sucks.
Mm-mm. Introductions.
Yo, what up? My name is Gio. I go by Sasuke. In many realms, I'm a part of a little DJ duo called Corporate Thugs, and we are having a good time, y'all. I'm here to share my perspective.
My name is Light, and
Nate with the
I
music.
am no longer bound by gender roles. The only thing I am bound by is my physical form, which is required to maintain my presence in this mortal realm.
Nate, go ahead.
My name's Nate Kreiser, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and I'm here to party.
Always and forever. And I'm Tevin. I just do things, and I'm happy to be alive. And I'm gonna get on Nate's butt, man. It's
What? What
audio,
did I do?
bro. It's audio.
I have
Turn
my
all that
headphones
mess.
on.
Yeah, but it's picking up the audio. That's what I'm saying.
Why is that?
Because your TV's
Because
probably
it's
too loud or
loud.
something. I don't know.
My TV can pick up headphone stuff.
Your
Turn
headphones
your TV off.
are picking up the TV stuff.
That's wild. There you go.
Alright, cool.
That was weird.
All good. Alright,
Yeah.
hop into the memes. I got a lot of them. I don't have any news stories or anything, so I was like, might as well fill it up. So, here we go.
So I got at least a hot one.
A hot
Hot
one.
take.
Hey, guess what? Like,
The hot one.
I'm officially dark.
What the fuck?
Okay.
Let's get it rolling.
We got
April
Dark hair.
Fools.
Dark.
Yo, I'll admit straight off the bat, I don't know enough about SpongeBob lore to understand this reference.
All I know is they took off like 1 or 2 episodes. They got canceled or something recently.
True.
I don't know. Well, I mean, Squidward probably did this as an April Fool's joke, you know, from the context of the picture there. But SpongeBob looked really hurt, man. Like,
Yeah.
he was like, man, April Fool's jokes ain't April Fool's jokes when you actually hurting people.
Man, stuffed them in
That's
the can.
that's big. Stuff them in a can.
Gary's gonna eat them.
Gary's gonna eat them.
He's covered in Gary food.
How about
Man,
that?
slimy.
Wow. What does Gary even eat? I don't know. All right, next one.
Yeah, I didn't see anything about no jokes anywhere.
Yeah, I seen this one.
Yeah, nope. Look, listen.
I don't get it.
Because the
COVID.
whole year was a train wreck.
COVID?
Ah,
People getting murdered?
This is, you know what pissed me off about Light? He sent me some stuff about Cyclops
yeah. I
and
heard
the
that.
gravity of the situation. I had no idea. Like I was dealing with some stuff. I was like, bruh, everything is serious right now. What's wrong with Light? What the hell
I mean,
is
we
going
could
on?
get into that a little bit once we get through these memes. But
No,
you know
I'm
what I
talking
mean?
about the Cyclops thing, bro.
Oh yeah, you know, I was just trying to share my appreciation of a character with you. I figured you'd
hate you.
appreciate it.
I actually hate you. Yo, Nah, this one's cool, but you should have saw the one that I found. It said, "Oh man, the DVD man got me again." I was
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Curious
so
George.
so shout out to uh the cast and crew of Godzilla vs. Kong though, because the movie was fire.
Oh,
I didn't
was
see
it?
yeah,
that
that movie
yet.
was crazy.
I got HBO
It,
Max though.
You gonna go
it
watch it?
That
is
movie was
Yeah, I'll watch it
crazy.
after we do this.
Oh, word.
it is it's certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
I
And
mean, it
Certified
just came
fresh.
out.
Whoop, whoop.
okay, but still, the King of the
Okay.
Monsters, the last Godzilla movie did not do well, like at all, as far as like critics were concerned. So I'm happy that this
I
one was
like the
so well
last one.
received. I haven't I haven't seen anybody say anything bad about it yet.
Oh
And
no, there ain't nothing bad about it.
it definitely does deliver on the monster fighting, which is what everybody really wants to see.
Yeah.
So
Man,
Fuck
look,
yeah.
all the memes coming from this are great though.
oh my god.
Silly.
I
Bro,
don't get it.
Screw you, he does. Because he does.
I was recently asked who my favorite vampire was. I said the Muppet from Sesame Street, aka Count Dracula. He told
Nah,
me he
it's
doesn't count when he actually does count.
Word.
I
They
think they
told
just
me
call him the Count, don't they?
they call him the Count.
I think they probably just changed that up. Well, like, okay, of course they count him the count. He's the. I'm gonna move on. Go ahead. All right, look at.
Bro, I
Yo!
really?
Yo!
My man came out here with the screenshots from
Yo!
my doppelganger. I just want to put a disclaimer for everybody who's not aware. This is not me, and I do not endorse or condone this message in any way, shape, or form.
Yo!
What's wrong with that?
Pull it up on the pod. Put
What's
it up
wrong
on
with
the
blue?
cat.
What's wrong with Blue Lives Matter?
Because blue lives don't
Oh.
exist.
Blue lives don't
I
exist.
thought it was for cops.
No, yes, it's a phrase that cops use, but the comparison isn't. I don't know how to explain it without like getting
Okay,
super
okay.
deep into it.
Here- All right, I'm gonna just give it the quick and dirty version. Black lives are people. Blue lives technically don't exist because a blue life is a job. It's a choice. You have to choose to be a cop. You're not born a cop.
That's kind of a fucked up meme.
No, it's not. That's the whole thing. Like you're missing the context.
You're
The reason
completely
he
missing.
pulled this up
Oh my
is
God.
because my Facebook got hacked,
Yes.
and that
Who
is
hacks
what
fucking Facebooks? They have no life.
that is.
Well,
Whoever hacked me posted this status, among a few other ones, and yeah, posted. I guess I must have ruffled somebody's feathers to the point where they felt like they needed to do something about it.
That's weird.
And they started posting a whole bunch of stuff that's just completely out of character for me.
There it is. I'm blue,
I was thinking the three blue guys from Vegas who were like bald and do shit.
Yeah,
That's the
the
Blue
Blue
Man
Man
Group.
Group.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this references. I mean, blue lives also count as Sonic the Hedgehog,
Oh,
And the
Genie,
Smurfs. The Smurfs.
all the Smurfs.
Stop.
Count, I think the Count is blue. Oh, he might be purple.
I think
Grover,
he's purple.
Cookie Monster. Grover and Cookie Monster.
Is Grover
The
still?
people from the Daft Punk music video.
Yeah, that's where that picture was from.
Thank you. I require this. I don't require either one of these.
The girl from the Charlie.
I'm sure.
Charlie in the
Somebody-
Chocolate Factory, the girl that turns blue.
Oh.
Thank you.
This one of
I appreciate it. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Danny.
what just happened? I just turned away and came back. What's happening?
Danny brought me food.
Yee.
Which I'll shave with the axe.
You know
Or a
what?
hatchet,
Yeah,
whatever
We're
it
gonna have an
says.
installment of.
Man, if I knew it, don't they do stuff like this in movies?
I mean, use
doesn't
what
even
you got.
happen. Oh, he's shaving with his axe. Oh,
I
cool.
feel like they do stuff like this in the movies.
Basically, when you're out in the world and you only have so much, so many resources.
I I seen this meme, but you know what I mean. I'm trying to keep it low key for a few days since you know I'm out here pissing people off.
Nah,
So
you good.
nah.
Yeah, I got the meme. It's all good. No worries.
Yep, I think that's how it works. Yep.
I saw this on Twitter. I don't know if you guys are going to get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I got it.
I had to like freaking triple take on this to be able to pick it up. They slashed them.
Is that like a triple entendre?
Is that just triple entendre? Oh man.
So a little bit of stuff in here related to masculinity in different aspects, whether it be positive, negatively, or toxic, whatever. But we'll get into that stuff a little bit later.
All right.
Just shout out to the wholesome meme though. I kind of like this. I haven't seen this before.
I've never seen this. Shout out to the MC for constantly rejecting toxic masculinity and showing that even our biggest male superheroes can show emotions.
Fuck
Yes.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
the best meme so far.
So two things real quick in relation to that meme. First off, there was a meme I was trying to find for today's podcast and didn't end up finding. But the gist of it is basically if Steve Rogers or Fred Rogers wouldn't do it, it's probably not a good look. Like, and then the second thing is shout out to Robert Downey Jr. Today is his 56th birthday.
Ageless.
So shout out to RDJ.
Word. The whole height debate.
Bro, I don't understand what's going on here. Who is this?
I don't know, but the only reason I put it on here
stupid.
is height.
Yo, I keep disconnecting or something. I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know enough about that to speak on it.
Well, I can tell you what it is. Normally, guys are taller than girls, and then they just said girls are taller than guys on that one.
Well, yeah, I get that, but I'm saying like I don't know who's in the picture.
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm not even caring about that. It's just the
Oh yeah,
the
I
whole,
have no idea.
no, Nate, what you're saying is pretty much what I put it in there for. So
Yeah.
because that's all it seems like.
Yeah, some people have they take issue with, men being shorter than women. Yeah, I feel like it's kind of stupid.
I
In
agree.
general, people date and marry people of varying heights. They just that's just misogyny working in very, very strange ways.
Mhm.
So
I concur.
So
I thought this was pretty interesting. I wasn't trying to go into this direction or even find something like this, but I thought it wasn't exactly what it says it is. It's a hot take.
yeah, I feel like it's kind of reaching.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Mobile gaming. They were reaching way too hard on that one. If you ask me.
So it's just more accessible is really all it is. It's like so many scenes just go a little bit too hard.
yeah, so I got thoughts on like a lot of these, but I'm gonna save them for like the main topic.
Alright.
But because like a lot of my thoughts on a lot of these different memes kind of intertwine and they're applicable to all. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
This is actually kind of funny from a messed up perspective because clearly I mean, if you're laughing, I feel like you know what the gist of the joke,
Yeah.
but but
Oh,
it's people mansplaining. And again, I'm explaining it, which makes it funnier because I'm explaining a guy explaining things to women, which is something that women don't need.
What's wrong
But
with guys explaining stuff to women?
It's
well,
In a bad
situational.
nothing
way.
if
It's
it's
very
oh
specific
man.
yeah,
situations,
it's
very specific
situational.
scenarios.
Yeah,
In
I've had
general,
it.
it's not bad, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And no, I got you. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Like you don't know what you're talking about, women. I know what I am. And blah, blah, blah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's just being a bitch.
bro. The day I get a beard, it's gonna be a good day.
I had a little beard.
Like you got what I got going on, that type of little beard.
No.
Oh, okay, okay.
Ha.
This beard is too much work.
Yeah, but the benefits, the
Bruh.
perks.
My beard connected, and that's all that counted. And now it's rolled up because I ain't brush it.
Well, let me give you a fun fact about Mr. Rogers.
What you got?
He, I think, was there was like back in the day about African Americans on TV and how people didn't want that, and he purposely, I think, was one of the first. He had like a mailman come and deliver him mail, and he had him as a African American to put him in his TV show to show that to support African American community.
Hmm. Yeah, do something with
Uh,
like polls.
yeah, something. Yeah, I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, because I remember seeing a clip about that, and like they share like
Yeah,
a little foot pool or something like that on TV, which is like
yeah,
unheard of.
yeah. I don't know why that. Like, I don't know. Back then, it was just fucked. That's
Yeah,
all I gotta say.
and then there's this whole thing.
That's a lot of words.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here.
Okay.
Yeah, I high key can't even read that on my
That's
phone
fine.
screen.
That's on me. It essentially breaks down to like there's two types of guys, which the internet version of these guys is like the
The
Chad
Chad's like the Karen.
alpha male
Like I
dude.
think he's like the Karen.
Well, the
The
Chad is
Karen.
supposed to
Oh
be
no,
like
never
That is
mind.
Karen.
Oh, sorry. I thought like like the Karen's typical like and then Chad's like the female version of it. But
It says tries to fight police. Yeah.
dude, the Chad is the guy
Yo.
at a bar who wears a jersey with the snapback, who like is obnoxious and yeah, that's typical Chad.
that sounds pretty accurate to me.
That's a stereotype, but it's true.
Oh man.
Sometimes stereotypes hold weight. I'm not saying every
I
single time,
concur.
but sometimes they do. Alrighty.
Chad's positive. I was geeking so hard I didn't even read all of it.
Hold on. Gio,
Send me that
you got sunglasses on? I'll put my sunglasses on.
And I ain't
Yeah,
got no
I am
sunglasses.
dark.
I'm hurt.
He is light.
I'm my sunglasses.
Nate, you will be gray.
I am.
You'll
It's
be
funny
shades of
because
Nate.
Nate Gray, if he becomes Nate Gray, he will become X-Man.
Stop. Oh gosh. Alrighty, moving on. Some free roam. Liggett, I don't know if you have anything you want to speak on, or the rest of y'all have anything you guys want to speak on. You can hit that for a
I do.
little bit.
I got two things. First is again, shout out to RDJ. He's 56 years old today. Uh, I hope
Yo,
you're.
Nate. Nice shades, man. Shades.
I hope
I like
you're.
I like obnoxious shit.
I hope you're living well, eating well today. So shout out to RDJ.
Yeah.
And then
Blinded, yeah. Sorry.
the second thing I got is I wish DMX a speedy recovery. DMX is currently on life support for
What the
a drug
fuck?
overdose.
I think he's
Yeah.
off now though. From the
Okay.
one tweet I'd seen, I guess it was supposedly from his manager, but that was a while back.
Okay.
Yeah. If he did
But
coke, they fucking laced that shit with fentanyl.
I've been keeping tabs on the situation just because I feel like we've talked about DMX on the podcast before.
He's a
Because I
legend.
know I kind of had we had this like thing where we didn't know if he was sober or not,
Mhm.
but it's unfortunate. You know, definitely a legend in the hip hop scene, a legend in the music scene. You know what I mean? So shout out to
Yeah,
shout out to the DMX. Um, I'm hoping for
yeah,
safe recovery.
yeah. If you
So,
shout out, if you just say DMX, no matter if you're born in the '90s, like whenever, like everyone knows who the fuck he is. It
Hmm.
doesn't matter when you're born. Like you throw that out there, people know who he is.
Definitely. Be curious to see if his music actually is still popping some years from now.
Boom, boom. It gets at the club. They throw it at the club.
Yeah.
That boom, boom, boom.
I mean, yeah, I'm down with it. You got anything, Nate? Anything going on in your world you want to bring up?
Uh,
Anything you've
Here's a
seen?
good technique for y'all. So you got to get Big League Chew, all right? Then you get the Red Man tobacco, and you put it in your mouth at the same time, so you're chewing gum with tobacco in it. It's pretty sick.
what?
How'd you get into that? I'm curious.
Friend at work, and then players.
Dude, baseball players are notorious for it.
Dude, baseball players is like the laziest professional sport. Like they're eating ice cream on the sideline. I like baseball, you know.
The ice cream on the sidelines, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Dog.
dead serious. They have like a little yeah.
Go off, Nate.
Dog.
Oh, that's just it.
Hey, you something else, bro.
Yeah,
Something
baseball is a good sport. It's crazy because like if you hit like 30%, that's like what batting 300. But
Yeah.
and you make millions. But if you get a 30% in like any test, you're just not good. So
But
that's
that's
pretty
like
cool.
off of like all the pitches though.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So you could try
That's
to
why
hit
you
like
see.
six
Yeah,
balls, but
yeah. You see a guy like batting like 500. Like holy shit, he's batting 500. Then like he's been off the plate like 6 times.
yeah,
So it's like you see that stuff at the Senators game all the time.
yeah.
Nothing wrong with that, you know. Get it?
Still making money.
talks the most shit and then says nothing's wrong with that.
What's wrong with that?
You good, Nate? Don't worry.
Yo, Blinders should sponsor me. This is from Blinders. Hit me up. Sunglasses.
Bro, I'm gonna have to get some of those. Those are like really legitimate to me. Like
Yeah, man.
out
Yo,
here, they're like
yo.
Prozone. Call them Sunspot though.
Friezo.
Where is my super suit? You hear it.
Y'all got anything else, Gio? What's going on with
Yo,
you?
man. Well, what's going on with me? We have a show coming up this weekend in Harrisburg. We are headlining. Uh, it's called Welcome B2B, and it's a bunch of Harrisburg people, like people in this area, I should say, Central PA area, and adjacent that are all doing back to backs. And we're playing with Giku. But we got a couple guys up there. Boy Bloody, Boy Dead Digital, Man's Gorilla Smack, you know, Po Boy. Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be a good show. April 9th at HMAC.
Hmm.
That's what's happening. But we also have Breeze Cooking Corner happening over here. We're making pie again.
Different pie?
I'm hyped. Blueberry again.
Blueberry again? That's what's up.
Who's over there?
Blueberry pie. Big hype.
Throw some ice cream on it. I'm trying to tell y'all.
Look, ice cream gonna hit that John for sure. We will check back in with what's happening with the pie later.
Word, dude.
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
I was like, last time y'all showed me the pie, I was like, oh, what's going on here?
This is look. She did her own crust this time. It's hold up. Let me turn it to.
It's happening.
It's happening. Hey,
Is she like stream shy? Or
No, she's just busy.
focus
yo,
on your
real
pie.
quick, shout out to my friend Manal from India. She came over and had dinner with the family. Because she didn't really have all of her families in India, so I invited her over, and she had a good time.
Dude, that's what's up. What y'all end up doing?
Just ate stuff. My mom tried to make Indian food for her, which wasn't a complete failure, but it was good. Yeah, just kind of vibed
That's
out.
right.
She told her story and stuff, and I'm
Mhm.
not gonna get into it, but you know, she's going through some tough time a little bit about not getting her like visa and stuff, and a lot of
Mhm.
bullshit with that, you know. But she's a fighter, so she has a lawyer, so she's trying to get it.
Word,
So
man.
just keep her in her prayers.
Word, word. That's nice that you guys brought her over. Like,
Hmm.
bet she really appreciated that.
Yeah, I met her on a Bumble, and we were just cool, and then we just ended up being like just friends and stuff, and then yeah, nothing wrong with just having good friends and vibing out. And, yeah.
Yeah, man.
If I chew this gum, is it going to be show up on everyone can hear it and be annoying?
Nah,
Like,
you're good. But yo, TV though, it's popping
oh
again.
shit, I even turned it down to
Turn your
fucking
damn
5.
TV down, my
That shit was
guy.
at level 5. Good lord.
Put on 2.
All right, I'll try
Put
to.
closed
I would say
captioning
closed
on.
captioning, yeah.
Yeah, I would. My controller died to do that, but
Oh man. But yeah. What you eating on, Liggett? I know we're just kind of just randomly going over stuff, but I don't want to hop into the main topic just
So
yet.
this was a plate. This was a plate like 10 minutes ago of potato salad, baked zucchini,
oh fuck,
and chicken tenders. But
that's a
I
full
have
stack.
like, yeah, I have like 6 chicken tenders left. So shout out to Danny for bringing me food because I wasn't going downstairs.
Shout out to Danny for bringing him food.
How does she spell? How does she spell her name? Like DANNI or
Yeah,
DANNI? The I.
it's an I. It's an I.
She doesn't. So no Danny Phantom, just DANNI.
No IEs,
Boy,
EYs.
you.
How long have you guys been together? If you don't me asking.
May will be 5 years.
She seems like a very, very good woman, or I should say very good, person. And
She is.
yeah.
But anywho,
Word. Hey man, I don't have anything planned. I just have the main topic. I'm just letting us free roam. Like, is
I'll
there
say
anything
well,
anything y'all want to go over? We can go over
yeah.
it.
I'll just say like my toxic masculinity
Okay, not
thing
that
from what
deep.
I got.
Anything
Oh,
away
okay.
from masculinity,
Alright,
and then we'll hop into it pretty soon.
okay.
do you want to? Well, I don't know if I want to talk too much specifically about my situation this week because I know that's
Okay.
a lot of personal information, and
Um,
I don't know what kind of eyes are going to be looking at this.
is it
But
like deep, or is it like good news, or is just like some personal stuff, or
it's personal stuff, but it
uh,
ended up being a little public this week.
I'll keep you in my
Like
prayers. Yeah.
like I said, I got hacked,
Uh,
and
for
it
a
was
second, I thought that was like Geo just being funny, but this is like a legit like hacker dude.
Yeah.
yeah. So somebody
Oh
hacked
my
my face. Yeah, somebody
yeah,
hacked my Facebook, was
yeah,
posting all types of
yeah,
wild nonsense, and
yeah. I'll say
that's
something real
about the
quick.
gist of it.
Uh,
Yeah,
okay.
go.
So keep I don't know if you see my Facebook, but someone at my gym passed out. He had a general toxic colonic seizure. I thought it was like a CVA, like a cardiovascular accident. Yeah, I just dropped some health science stuff for my degree.
I was like, yo, what's that?
But anyway, dude, I was on the cardio machine and someone put out this huge film thing. I'm like, that's an interesting leg workout. But they just put him to kind of like get him from not going like this, turn him on his side. It came over, EMS. The cop was there. I actually know the cop. I babysat his kids at the one gym I used to work at. Anyway, so he ended up being fine. But when he came to, I was like, you know what gym you're at? He's like, yeah, yeah. I'm like, then what gym's this? He had no idea where he was, but he was in a safe place, and I think he may have a little bit of brain bleed or something,
Hmm.
and he has some history of some seizure. Anyway, long story short, for what I know, he's doing very well and he's stable and it's all good. But I'm not gonna lie to you, it was a little scary, a little bit. But
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like, dude, how often does that stuff happen in gyms? Like, I don't hear too many
not that.
stories.
I
It's always
first
just
thing
like
was that
something stupid, like
yeah,
someone dropped some weights on
yeah,
themselves or something like that.
accident, yeah, or that guy tearing his pec that went around. But yeah, I first thing I said was get him some orange juice because I don't know if he was diabetic. EMS people said don't give him anything. So I fainted before a couple times, and my experience from it is when you faint, you think like you're in your bedroom sleeping or something, and then you wake up, you're like, what the fuck? And then like you come to and you're like, it's kind of like crazy.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That would make sense. I was like, not trying to fall asleep in public, so
Yeah.
probably the first spot I would be otherwise.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, that's
Yeah, I heard
that's crazy.
if anyone's like what they don't do anymore, like they don't put like your your fingers down their mouth to stop their tongue. You just turn them over on their side, and do that. Don't count me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what the new thing is. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think I read something saying like you're not supposed to, well, you don't have to call the ambulance unless
Yeah.
it's like a 4-minute seizure or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. We just called them just straight up. But they
Boy,
got
you know
there
how
pretty fucking
expensive?
fast. Yeah, from my experience, ambulance drive is $1,000
Yeah, that's
from.
crazy. It could be over something so simple too.
Yeah, but you don't fuck around with that shit, so
Yeah, true.
you gotta call. But yeah, that's pretty much going on with me. Just chilling in a good zone.
Word.
Take my medicine.
Cool.
I did have 2 beers last night, but other than that, I haven't drank in a month and everything, and I'm doing good.
Word. It's good to hear, man. I'll say for me, since I haven't really said too much, but for me, just work.
There you go.
Dude, I'm in the cycle right now. It's a fun time
You're in a
being in the
cycle?
cycle. As in, like, wake up, work, chill out, go to sleep, wake up, work, chill out, go to sleep. Like, I need
It's a
to
good
throw in
routine.
some new vibes every
Yeah.
now and again. But
Yeah. I'm getting back into my bodybuilding and stuff for 2 weeks. I'm strong, getting back to my roots.
mhm.
We're like 185.
Tev, are you streaming Phasmophobia?
I was at one point.
That game interests me. Uh, but I like a lot of the horror stuff.
Mhm.
Uh, but I know I'm gonna have to catch it next time you stream it.
It's
You
like
hear this
So you-
internet? Yeah.
it's like every now and
Oh,
again.
go,
Like
Lacey.
my homie got me into it because he and his wife now. So shout out to them. They just did the wedding ceremony like I think last week. Um, but yeah, him and his wife were playing, so
Congratulations.
they they invited me on a couple times. So I was like, yeah, I'm down to get the game and all that. Like, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's pretty fun, dude. Like, it's just
What's the
like,
multiplayer?
yeah, I think it's up to 4 players. It's pretty much just like a what is it? Like a haunted house, trying to figure out if there's a ghost there, what type of ghost
That's
type
cool.
thing. And you have to work together using different tools and whatnot to be able to tell if it's like a phantom versus a spirit versus like a wraith or a banshee or whatever.
but I do enjoy the game, but I'm not a PC gamer, so I only watch other people play it.
Mm,
Yeah.
So next time you stream it, I'll have to catch it.
word. I'll let
Yeah.
you know.
You
Oh,
guys hear about the new internet fab thing that's going on?
What's that?
These things called icebergs. So you know how like iceberg, you see like a little thing on the top, and then it's really deep at the bottom.
Hmm.
They did one on like Star Wars or whatever, and I came across people. This guy posted one on Reddit, and it was like the scariest horror movies or most fucked up horror movies. And I'm like, okay, I like horror movies and stuff. And the most fucked up movie I ever saw was like a Serbian film, and it had 8 layers, and I was only on like tier 3. And I'm like, what the fuck? You know, like the icebergs up tops, like I know Friday the 13th or whatever. And I'm like, okay. And then the longer he went down, I was like, what the fuck? And then this scared the shit out of me. The bottom 8 tier, the guy did research on the videos, and like there were actually like illegal videos and stuff or whatever. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm gonna stay on like tier 2. Uh, yeah, I talked to my therapist about it because I thought it would
Dang.
just be movies that you rent on like Amazon Prime or whatever, and then he went down to like like it was basically the black market was the 8th tier of just pure evil.
So is it
So
like whatever subject and then they show it on different levels and the eighth level is like some crazy
yeah,
stuff?
probably the fucking shit that Jared from Subway went to jail for, like just pure evil shit.
Yeah,
And then after I saw
Oh,
that iceberg, I just said prayers and then I didn't watch it again.
bro,
Yeah,
what the heck?
sounds like that. That type situation.
That's
yeah,
some two girls, one cup type stuff.
yeah. Basically all the shit they show in horror movies, but make it real or whatever. But yeah,
Yeah.
there's horror movies. It's like possession stuff, and then it's just like psychological stuff. Then it's like stuff, and then like the more they went down, just had to do stuff with like kids and women, and I'm like, all right, dude, this is just weird.
Hmm.
And then yeah, but it was pretty cool because it had like up top was like the slashers, then it had the paranormal stuff like Conjuring, then it had a cool thing, and then like the longer it went down, I'm like, all right, I'm done watching the shit.
Who comes up with this, dude?
Someone on Reddit, and then I saw this one for like Star Wars.
The
I'm not
rabbit
really
hole.
sure what it was, but it was like I guess the regular movies and just talked about their characters, and the eighth tier was probably like secret characters no one knows about, or like uh just fan theories and stuff.
Mhm. Bro, that I don't know,
That
man.
sounds wild.
Yeah, I mean it's on YouTube, but like I follow a lot of horror reviews and stuff, and they was like this dude's like, yeah, I came across this, and then he just talked about it, and I was like, oh, yeah. So a lot of evil in that.
That's pretty wild,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, not to dampen our mood, but
Oh, you're good. Like we usually bring up
yeah,
murder
shout
stories
out
in the news and whatnot.
shout out to this one YouTuber I follow called Spooky Astronauts. She's red hair girl from Australia, and like she's like like future wife type, and it's like she reviews horror movies and stuff, and she has like a really cool accent, and it's like kind of hard to find girls who are in the horror movies and stuff, and
Boy, what are you
it's
talking
crazy.
about?
Huh?
I know
YouTube.
so many girls are into horror movies.
Oh really? Yeah. For me personally, I'm kind of like 1 for 10.
Dang, I'm
But
sorry.
yeah, yeah. Go follow her, Spooky Astronauts. She's really cool.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Liggett, I'm surprised you didn't want to bring up the trial.
The trial?
The trial.
Oh, the trial of Derek Fuckface.
Dude, alright, chill out.
Man, he gets no chill. He gets no chill.
Yeah, he's pretty trash.
I don't really know what there is to say, because at this point I'm just kind of waiting on a conviction, and anything short of that, I mean, people aren't going to be happy about. So
What's
like,
that story?
It's
the trial.
Go ahead, you got it.
I literally don't know how to pronounce his last name because I've just
Chauvin.
like
Chauvin.
yeah.
He did something bad.
He's the guy who killed George Floyd.
Oh,
Wow.
cop. Why is he in jail already? I thought he was like, why is it taking so long?
Exactly, that's the question everybody wants to know.
I don't understand what the fuck the issue is here.
But yeah, we literally saw a video of him killing George Floyd, and now he's on trial for whether or not he killed George Floyd.
He should get a first-degree murder and then go to jail.
I mean, he should.
It's gonna be hard for that because that has to be
They
premeditated, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, you know what?
That's right.
We could play semantics and devil's advocate all day, but everybody knows that this man belongs up under the jail.
Yeah.
If it was somebody who didn't have a badge, he would already be there. Yeah, I mean.
You think so?
Yeah. So
expedited.
All those other cops that saw him and didn't do anything should get in trouble too.
They should, but they don't, and that's the reason why people marched for George Floyd, because this type of stuff happens too often to too many people, and it's not just George Floyd that goes through stuff like this. It's a
I think
lot
they
of
could
people.
get him. I think they could get him for first degree if they look back at his history, and he has a history of abusing African American cops, and like situations, and maybe they can say he's premeditated because that's his automatic response is to just do evil things. Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, he's had plenty of complaints already.
Yeah.
In past history. So
do you think he's gonna get off?
Yeah, I hope. Man,
I think he's probably gonna get off.
I would hope that he wouldn't, but I expect that he will. Yeah, I mean,
I hope he doesn't get a bail. I hope he doesn't get a bail or anything. He just you're done,
bro. Well, we're in the age that like people set up like GoFundMe's and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's right.
For what I mean, it doesn't even have to be his family or anybody related to him. If somebody feels sorry for this dude, they could literally just start a GoFundMe. And like, what's his face? Kyle Rittenhouse. People raised like, what was it, like over $1 million for him, or something like that, something crazy.
Yeah, there was that
and
one.
There's just random people on the internet.
Yeah, they started like this one guy. He had like pretty eyes or whatever, and like this was like one of the hottest. And they started like a GoFundMe page for this fucking degenerate person. Like
a hot prisoner. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
But yeah, like Do I do I expect justice for George Floyd? No. Unfortunately, I don't, and maybe that's the wrong attitude to have.
I do.
But that is what I've come to expect from this country. I really hope that he does get justice, but I'm not. I'm not too optimistic. Like I said, when
I'm
they get a
holding my breath.
conviction, yeah, when they get a conviction, I'll have something to celebrate. But until that comes, it's whatever. It's another day. It's another black man unjustly murdered by a cop, and you know, it is what it is. There's nothing that hasn't already been said by somebody else.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
probably
So,
nothing we haven't already said before anyway. So yeah,
yeah.
it'll be interesting to see what it comes down to.
I have
'cause-
faith in the justice system. I hope they lock him away. They locked a lot of other bad people away. I really
But have
hope
they
they.
locked up other police officers though? I think
Oh,
that ends up being the
absolutely.
question.
But then you have to do this. Was the cop they locked up had anything to do with the African American male?
Well, not
I guess
even
that's the
specifically for African American killings by police, but like just in general.
That police thing, man, a lot of cops have cops' backs, but honestly, what I learned from my research is that you know how cops get complaints and stuff? Most of those complaints are from other cops. I'm being dead serious. And how, like, mispractice and everything.
hmm
So, which
Uh,
surprised me.
I know for a fact that like there's people who go into police stations, like ordinary citizens that go into police stations with the intent of filing a complaint. And if the people at the police station know that that person is trying to file a complaint against the police officer, they'll usually just end up giving them the runaround. You know what I mean? And it won't get to any type of like legitimate formal paperwork. Uh, they'll basically just get shooed away, which
I think,
happens a lot more often than
really?
it should. Yeah.
That's sad.
So because they don't want to, it's like, uh, people make fun of people in the streets when it comes to like the no snitching shit, but the cops do the same stuff. You know what I mean? Like they definitely do the same stuff with each other. It's like, oh well, my homeboy, my coworker, my partner, he's at home beating his wife every day, and I know he's doing it. And if he ever gets caught, I'm gonna say that I didn't know anything about it.
I
You
don't
know
know
what I mean?
about that. I don't know about
There's
that.
there's a proven statistic that there's like 40% of cops are uh they have evidence of domestic violence.
Yeah.
It's a pretty high number,
That's
but
one
it's
thing I
it's
don't understand. You see all these celebrities, all these, like Deshaun Watson, all these super successful people, and then you always hear these like domestic abuse. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I can't. It's one of those things my therapist says you're not going to understand everything in the world, and it just seems.
Yeah.
you can't rationalize irrational behavior.
I think some of
I
that,
agree.
So
not to rationalize their behavior, but I think some of that kind of ties into the whole masculinity thing. So, if y'all want to just go ahead and hop
it
into it,
does.
then we can hop into
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I'm good.
Talk
I'm
sis.
good.
So are we jumping into it?
Yeah, but I'm gonna get us going in one direction first. Not to shout out the band, but all right. So, masculinity. The couple things that we're gonna go over, or at least I would hope that we can kind of define and whatnot, is what it is initially, and then from there we can jump into whatever specific questions that we might have for ourselves, for each other, or just specific subtopics, and then we can kind of close out with the whole toxic masculinity part, and then yeah, just call it good after that. So, what is it? What is masculinity? What does it mean to you? How do we define it?
Is there a
I think
definition of toxic masculinity, or
Just
is it like
masculinity
an
in
Urban
general.
Dictionary thing? Oh,
if I mean, again, I could be wrong, but just my personal interpretation of the word masculinity means, some degree of, uh,
alpha.
no, just like, I don't want to say manliness.
You can say
Like
that.
is there like a legitimate definition for the word?
I'll bring it up
Uh,
after everyone gives their own personal view. That way we have like a little bit of context of like what
but like
everyone's kind of pointing towards.
to me, like I don't know if I have something that it specifically means for me, because I am of the belief that the idea of masculinity, like anything else in the world, changes over time. And really, like when you look at like people in the past and like different societies and people in different countries and stuff, like you hear masculinity and you immediately think of like big, strong, burly dudes, cool guys, stuff like that. But it's like people in like ancient Greece and Rome, like the Spartans and whatnot. Uh, like yeah, they were warriors and they were fierce, and they were all about like violence and whatnot. But at the same time, they embraced a lot of things that would not be considered masculine in today's time. Like, for example, and I know this could be like a whole subject, like a whole subcategory, so I don't want to dive too deep down this rabbit hole. But
Do
for
an
example,
iceberg.
yeah, down the iceberg, but back in like ancient Greece and ancient Rome, you had like people. Homosexuality was a very prominent thing in those types of cultures,
It was.
and it's crazy because when people talk about masculinity today, they say that homosexuality is not something that's considered masculine. But at the same time, if you say, oh, I want to go work out so I can look like a Spartan, because Leonidas is my role model, and I'm like, bro, like
You
on
know what they
some
did in
real
Rome?
shit, yeah, on some real shit, like what I mean, those types of dudes back in the day, they slept with a bunch of men, and there's nothing against that, not to uh say anything homophobic or anything of that nature, but it's just wild to me that people associate uh, homosexuality with non-masculinity. Because I know, like, like sexual preference has nothing to do with whether or not somebody's masculine. I know gay dudes that are bigger, stronger than me that could kick my ass in like 2 seconds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think
uh,
there's a difference between like masculinity and then heterosexual or sexual. That's a different like
it is,
yeah
but I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm just like
masculinity
again. I wasn't trying
doesn't
to go deep.
mean
yeah.
sexuality.
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't trying to get too deep. I was just
Yeah.
saying that like I don't. To me, the concept of masculinity kind of it's kind of blurry for me
Yeah.
because there's what society tells us masculinity
Yeah.
quote unquote is,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
there's what I actually think about it. So
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
masculinity is not decided on your sexual preference.
Yeah. What's your
Yeah.
definition, Nate?
My definition of masculinity is, well, the first thought that comes to my mind, someone that represents himself well, is very fit. He's direct to the point. He's doesn't like he isn't wishy washy. He's just, to the point. Presents himself well, and he's a go getter, a positive influence, sticks up for others, and yeah, and then but you can also that's and actually a real man shows his emotions too. And I mean, masculinity doesn't really matter your physique too. You can be just like an alpha. You can just be a good person and stick up for yourself, and be a gentleman. That's like real masculinity is be a gentleman, be nice to women, appreciate them, and just don't be a fucking asshole.
Definitely, definitely.
can I
What do you got?
can I
Yeah,
ask you
Baba. Yeah.
can I ask a quick question?
Hmm.
So would the concepts of like alpha males and beta males directly contradict the positive conception of masculinity? Because if you're already separating different types of male figures, you're already putting them in like different types of classifications based on their character or whatever. So would that be a direct contradiction to? Would I guess what I'm saying would the idea of an alpha male and a beta male be contradictory to positive masculinity? So
What a beta male is? What's that definition of a beta male?
well, no,
It's
but I'm saying like
Someone who's weak? Is that?
that's typically how it's used to describe
Yeah.
something
I
that
mean, it
isn't
doesn't
the
like. I mean,
stereotypical.
you can be like a skater dude who's skinny and be an alpha male. It just, I think a alpha male is someone who has like a healthy glow. You can be skinny, you can be whatever that physique is, but you're strong in your person. I think the automatic like response goes to alpha male. You think someone who's like big, strong, or whatever. But I mean, that could be one aspect to it, but it just depends the size of your heart, and and you can't overlook that.
Hmm.
I agree. I just think that the classification
Yeah.
itself
Is
is
All right,
where
interesting to me.
losing out on.
we'll go to Geo. What's your definition?
I mean, I lean more towards like just the technical definition of it. You just have attributes, you know, that are more man-like or more attributed, I should say, attributes that lean more towards like a male physique or hmm,
Guy
the
who gets
words
all the
are
girls.
kind of escaping me, but no, it doesn't have to be a guy that gets all the girls. That has nothing to do with anything. It's just of your of your creature, you have man-like attributes. That's really what I should be saying. Uh, Typically, men of species will have bigger muscles. Typically, men of a species um, would have bigger bodies, things like that. As far as masculinity, um, in other definitions, I would say I can't even really say it in any other definitions. That's kind of where I'm just sit at it, you know.
Hmm.
Um, if yeah, I'll just go there. I don't want to go. I don't want to go down the iceberg as they say, because I'll end up in a random hole.
We'll
Alright.
run down the iceberg pretty soon. But Sento's in the chat
Soon.
and he gave his relative definition. Uh, which I don't know if he's being serious about it or not, but
What did you say?
he says the innate trait to conquer in men.
The innate trait to conquer.
Did you say my name?
No, innate,
Oh.
like the what is the synonym for innate?
They make their presence known when they
It's
walk into the
it's
room.
no innate means like
Automatic.
passive.
You're born with it. I know what it
Yeah,
means.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Passive,
Like a
passive
natural
abilities.
instinct. That you can't like you didn't teach it. It was already like
Yeah, yeah, like a natural, yeah, the
it's
instinct.
not a it's not a learned behavior. Yeah, like ultra instinct or enter like your domain and that you objectively
Instinctual.
serve. So
Yeah.
I meant passive, like passive ability.
Yeah, that's what was like passive. Boy over here, regen in health.
Yeah.
Oh man, Wolverine, yeah.
Yeah, you still gonna have to fight me over that Cyclops slander.
Bet.
Oh man.
I
All
didn't
guys like
say
right,
my
anything slanderous.
let
you
me
guys like my sweatshirt?
let me pull this definition up real quick.
We
Yusuke
can't see it, Nate.
Urameshi.
Oh, is that?
Oh,
Oh, you.
That
That's
Yusuke Urameshi?
yep.
Who is
With
that?
the spear finger.
almost looks like he has a third eye.
Oh shit.
All right, let me get this thing. So
I like to buy cool
the
shit.
the Wikipedia definition
Wiki.
of masculinity. Let me know if I need to zoom in anymore so y'all can see.
You can just read it. It's okay.
Man, I don't like to
Or is
read.
it?
Masculinity, also called manhood or manliness, is a set of attributes, behaviors, and roles associated with men and boys. Although masculinity is socially constructed, which we'll get into,
Socially, that's a good thing.
research indicates that some behaviors considered masculine are biologically influenced. To what extent masculinity is biologically or socially influenced is subject to debate. It is distinct from the definition of the biological male sex, as both males and females can exhibit masculine traits. And
Yeah.
then it goes into the standards, which we kind of like jumped into a little bit, which might vary across different cultures and different time periods. We see this with like fashion, like skinny jeans aren't for guys. Just like, all right, maybe, maybe not. I don't know.
What's wrong with skinny jeans? You know.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, it's just
Bro,
clothing.
man,
If
all
I'm a
right, Steve.
guy and I put it on my
Yeah,
body, it's for me.
Hey, I drive a Prius. I'm masculine. Come at me. What's wrong with that?
I mean,
But yeah.
Prius. They just
I
So-
beat an SUV on a race.
The whole trait thing, I think, kind of like plays in, as Centel said in the chat. So traits traditionally viewed as masculine in Western society include strength, courage, independence, leadership, and assertiveness, which like we see this being portrayed so much in media and whatnot. So
right.
I like the socially part. Like socially.
are you sure?
Hmm?
Are you sure? You sure you like that part?
Like I like the socially part is like I would say never mind, you can be an introvert and extrovert and still be masculine.
I don't think it means it as in like those what's considered to be masculine is defined by the society that you're in. Like we could create our own society right here, and what's considered masculine could be just watching TV and doing nothing all day. That's what it means by
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
Anywho,
Word.
we'll
That
move
is still
on
masculine.
to the questions.
And wearing shades.
So
Masculine.
I could be considered not masculine because I didn't have shades on at one point.
This is this society where shades are masculine and
Yeah.
Tavin is no longer masculine.
It's fine.
That's a real thing about. I think it's just someone's perspective of what it is. Like someone could say skinny jeans aren't masculine, but then someone can say skinny jeans are, and they can probably have a debate about it, and then
But we're not. We usually aren't put into positions to like debate those things. It's just like you're born into it. This is what it is. Live with it.
yeah.
And that bothers a decent amount of people.
I guess the definition of masculinity, some people could say, is Dan Blazarian.
No, isn't he in trouble?
I want to get in trouble.
I said, isn't he in trouble?
Yeah. The whole Ignite thing, I think, went under. I think he is, and yeah, I definitely saw stuff on YouTube. I think I might have all cut off with him.
I don't know. I haven't seen anything else since that time. But all right. So if you guys have any random topics, or otherwise we could just hop into like defining positive, negative, and then eventually get to the toxic.
I'm good to jump into it.
Okay, let's get it.
Yeah. All right. So if we can build like the most masculine person, or even use like a representation, like someone in society that we know now, like how would that person be built? Traits wise, physically, all those different things. Like how would we build the perfect masculine person?
I think it has to do. What was I getting at? I think there maybe be different levels of masculinity. I mean, I guess the typical masculinity dude is like Greek god, and he's just like just like a really good person. Like his looks match his heart, and
I mean, like
yeah.
Hercules or something?
Yeah, Hercules, Superman. I guess the hero, and what's that antagonist or target? I forget what that is.
Protagonist.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, a hero.
Mm-hmm. So pretty much like the whole courageous and all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone who sticks up for others. Not afraid to cry.
Mm. So
Just
pretty much
a good
everything.
guy.
Pretty much everything we already just went over.
Protect mom.
Yeah, just
and
a good
cry
dude.
about it.
Maybe that isn't the
What's
perfect question to ask.
What?
How do we feel about how masculinity is portrayed in the media today, at least in Western society? And then we can look at like Eastern society as well.
Oh shit! Yeah, Eastern
society. I can't prepare with all types of philosophy for this.
Yeah.
Let's just look at our society first.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, go Google.
So as far as like Western society, it's American society specifically. When you think of the word masculine, there's a few character archetypes that come to my mind personally. So like One of them is like the Fonz. You know what I mean? Uh, Leather jacket. You know what I mean? Quote unquote cool guy. You know, he gets all the girls. Blah 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 blah. And then you got like the football players. You know, like the high school jocks. You have like the the dudes who are always in the gym. You have like the car mechanics. Because you know there's this weird thing that's always been kind of like ingrained in American society where like knowing how to fix cars and knowing things about cars is considered a masculine trait. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And it's like, I don't know how to fix cars. Does that mean I'm not masculine?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean, like to me, again, it's just kind of a perception thing, and it's weird to see what sticks and what doesn't. Um, but I think honestly, as far as like positive examples, you know, just I think being a good person will get you very far because if you just focus on being a decent human being, like you don't really have to focus so much on trying to present yourself in a quote unquote manly way. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like the people that will vibe with you. Uh, you know, don't do anybody wrong, stuff like that. It sounds cliche and like elementary, but I mean that's like the easiest way I personally can relate to it because there's all types of you know I like to wear bright colors. You know, my favorite color is yellow. I like to wear. I'm wearing pink right now, but I mean it's X-Men, but it's still pink. But you know, in like society, you know, boys are taught not to like the color pink, and I'm like, why? Why can't boys like the color pink? It doesn't like stop them from doing any of the other things you consider to be masculine. It's just a color. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that's my biggest thing is that when we talk about like masculinity, there's a bunch of really dumb minuscule things that like I feel like shouldn't matter but do to a lot of people. And we have stereotype these types of stereotypes that are like ingrained in kids' heads growing up by their parents and like media and adults around them that it's just like, oh well, you know, my kid's gonna grow up to be a football player or like a NASCAR driver or you know like a boxer or something, and the kid's like 5 years old and doesn't understand any of the words you're saying right now.
Yeah.
So
I think part of that is really
I,
just like trying to protect your, which I don't agree with it. I don't think it's right, but I think that's just like try and protect your kids because it's so easy to be considered abnormal in those situations. And then you get picked on, you get teased, whatever. Sometimes you get bullied like completely, whether it be physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever. And so I think it's kind of like this is what I believe is normal. Let me try to keep you away from that what's considered abnormal. And that way like you're probably more likely to succeed. At least back in the day it seemed like it was more like that. Nowadays being different seems to be kind of like the better thing to go for.
but I feel like that's the direction it probably should move in anyway. At least
Yeah,
that's what
I
I feel
agree.
like we've been taught. You know what I mean? And like our media is like, oh, you know, be yourself, be different, blah 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 blah. But it's like as soon as you get out there in the real world and you start looking for jobs and stuff, it's like we're still kind of like in the middle where like uh the older generation still have a lot of like the hiring power in a lot of employment places.
Hmm.
And it's like, oh, you know, if you got a bunch of tattoos and piercings and whatnot, you got like colored hair, dreadlocks, whatever, like there's a bunch of people that are gonna pass right over you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, but it's like just because they grew up a certain way. Not that it's an excuse, but I just find it extremely interesting.
Yeah.
But I'm
Well,
gonna try to stay on topic and not like because like there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about.
well, I will hold my tongue on that one
Mm.
then. um, but the main question we were on, what was that again? The portrayal,
Yeah, like how do you think stuff is
masculinity
portrayed in
and
Western society, Eastern society?
in Western society. Well, like Light was saying, it fits a couple different archetypes. I will say nowadays, as it's getting better, you're seeing different forms of kind of the same archetypes we have. To talk about something that we always end up reaching towards, our comics and whatnot. It used to be that everybody wanted to be like strong, like Captain America or the Hulk or Wolverine or whatever. But now it's, people want to be, they see the smart stereotype. They kind of see the Tony Starks, the the Bruce Wayne, Batman. You know what I mean? Those kind of guys who are
I was about to
billionaires
say
and
smart or billionaires.
they got money, they got the women, they're smart, and they have drinking problems, and they have, you know they don't keep up with their kids. They have those kind of situations where they're like generally good people to the public, but like awful people on the inside, but somewhere there's a heart of gold. Like they have those kind of people, but then you also have, I would say, real people in the world, like, you know, not this past president. I think I'm talking about that, but the president before him, someone who is, you know, eloquent, could carry himself well. They do have those examples that pop up in a lot of our media lately, and a bunch of different places. So I mean, they're making good changes. Um, everybody kind of has exposure right now. Nate, you got something to say?
Huh?
Was that a yawn
Oh,
or something?
oh yeah, sorry. I
I
was
had
just
no idea.
thinking of like the thought that came in my mind was just like I forgot to say the most basic thing. I think we forgot is like the male guy's the breadwinner and the wife
Uh,
stays home and watches the kids, all that typical stuff.
I just looked
I
up.
didn't yawn though.
You look like Jim Carrey's Grinch jumping at the screen. I was,
Yeah,
I was like,
I
what the
wasn't that yawn
hell?
wasn't an offensive yawn. I was just
Oh, I had no idea.
it was
I had
just
no idea.
innate yawn.
It was a Nate yawn. Nate.
You were saying though, Jeff?
Yeah. No, 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 no. Yeah, we're making strides. We're changing how, uh, I would say, as generations start to move on and move out, and a younger class of people are starting to have bigger avenues with, you know, all forms of media, social and commercial, and whatever other
Hmm.
branch media there may be. Things are starting to change. You don't see the heroes or the leaders look like Clark Kent and stuff like that. They're looking like, you know me and you guys. They're looking like, the gender isn't, it doesn't matter if you're a leader.
Right.
That's not what's really happening, and that's where we need to go.
Yeah. What you just said kind of like put some other characters into my head. So if you guys want to pivot real quick,
Yeah.
when it comes to media portrayals, specifically in anime, anyways, there's a couple characters nowadays that kind of fits what Gio's saying. For me, the one that always pops in my head every single time is Deku, because that man was portrayed as Scaredy Cat from My Hero Academia. Um,
Okay.
he's portrayed as a scaredy cat, like from the get go. Super weak dude, scaredy cat, doesn't know what he's doing, trying to figure stuff out. He's smart. He didn't come in with powers initially, but he's like transforming. I don't know if he's gonna get to the point to where he's always like super courageous. He's always sure of himself and whatnot. But the way that he's being portrayed as like being super unsure of himself and whatnot in this current state, I think it's a good thing to have. But that's just me. Is there any other characters you guys can think of that
I
like?
have a really good one. Well, first off, like I feel like there also there's some truth in just like biological, like, like if you look at someone and you look at someone else, you're like, whoa, that dude, shows some alphaness in how he looks. He's big and strong, and be like, okay, this person looks weak. But what I learned is that I think the perfect thing for me is in Seven Deadly Sins, the Pride guy, who's this guy looks at my work, looks exactly like him. He like, is very skinny and stuff. But then he turns into, he's like my supervisor, but he is the Pride where he turns into all muscular and he's like invincible for like 15 seconds at a certain amount of time. And um and I think that, masculinity and stuff, and then you like, he has like two kids, everything, like he's such a good masculine guy. But at first appearance, that's the whole thing about judging people on appearance and stuff. So it's like judging people on appearance, there's that thing, but there's also some truth of just like through biology, people look stronger than other people, but that doesn't mean that they're not masculine. Yeah. Yeah, my boy Andy, he's the fucking man, dude.
Yeah. I agree with that. Got anything like it?
I like
Yeah,
that game,
definitely.
favorite X-Men.
The Decker's a good example. If I could think of like some other, like he's probably like a really good example actually of just trying to make the best of what you got and do what you can with what you have.
Yeah.
Like trying to do the right thing. Regardless of how outgunned you are. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I think that's a very good example. Another one, it's not anime, but and I feel like it's a very cliched thing to say, but Captain America, because the character, and I'm talking about Steve Rogers specifically, because just because he's in the costume that's supposed to represent a country doesn't mean that he practices blind nationalism. He stands up for what is right, not specifically for America. And that's important to have somebody or have, a character represent something like that. Because I feel like a character like that could very quickly turn into a prime example of toxic masculinity, depending on who has their hands on a character like that. Uh, but Captain America is legitimately wholesome and he believes in like legitimate liberty and equality, justice, all of that. Like um, he represents a symbol, but he's not like he's not just a dude waving a flag. You know what I mean? Like he fights for what he thinks is right, and tries to do it by everybody. So I think Steve Rogers is a good example of positive masculinity.
Yeah, muscles don't determine how masculine you are.
True.
Yeah.
For sure. Cause oh man, if we're going back to the My Hero example that I just brought up, what's his face's dad, or I could just say his name, Endeavor.
Yeah.
He, which I think he's changing, but like he's always portrayed as what would be considered as the masculine figure, just because like he's super big, super strong, like he's tough dude, blah blah blah. But like
Right.
he's trash to his kids.
Mm.
And then All Might's like the complete
Right.
opposite of that, but he doesn't have kids. But he's big and strong. He does turn skinny, so like it's still kind of that, kind of like the Sally Davidson's type thing. So I don't know. There's a lot of things with like new school anime that I think, and maybe I just wasn't paying attention to it back in the day with the older school anime, but like I feel like they're touching on a lot more issues and whatnot, which might be a product of the writers and the artists growing up and experiencing certain things that's kind of leaking over into the art, into the shows that they're creating. But
Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
have two
just leave it at
examples.
that. What you got?
One
I will say
is
this though. I'm sorry.
you go. No, you go, Gio.
Go ahead, Gio.
No, I was gonna
Yeah.
say there's some instances where, as in older anime, he has a Yu Yu Hakusho shirt on. Kurama in Yu Yu Hakusho was like the ladies' man, and he was the one who was mostly androgynous. Like you didn't really know unless you like
New.
really watched the show
Yeah.
because people were mistaking him for a woman in the show. Like he was the one who was getting the women. Like
True.
they had examples back then. It's just they were much further and fewer in between. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
It was probably more subtle
Like
at
that's
times as well.
there's a lot more stuff.
Yeah.
But it happened. Definitely did happen.
True, true. What you got, Nate?
And then one example, it goes for a lot of anime characters, but kind of like the one guy from One Punch Man, the guy who just rode the bike. And no matter if he was weaker than an opponent, he would still fight to the death. Like it doesn't
Woman
matter.
writer.
Yeah, he's there to protect people. You
Respect
see
for
that
woman writer.
I forget he's the one kid who has like the bamboo sword, like who'll stick up for people. It doesn't matter, like he has a lot of heart and everything. There's a lot of anime characters that maybe that look weak, then they like have a transformation. You know, it doesn't have to be always muscles, but you just see that person. And my other example is, even though she's a girl, is Neil from Bleach. How she looks, all small and innocent, and then Ichigo, like when she transforms, she just has that presence of just like I am powerful, like just because I was like small, like has like fuel of power, and then she comes and makes her presence known and just kicks butt.
Hmm. I have a question kind of regarding that.
Yeah.
Um, which like it's kind of hard because like I don't know what's considered by society to be right and what's not considered to be right or not. But there's like so many things that I myself would consider to be masculine that I feel like kind of overlap. But like maybe that's just I don't know, dude. I don't know. Like the whole like taking charge thing. Like I personally do
Yes,
consider that to be masculine, but at the same time, like why does that have to be specifically a masculine thing?
I have an idea what you mean.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
because men in the typical forms, especially with how things are happening in the 1700s, 1800s. I mean, still like England has they have the queen, but back then there was patriarchy.
yeah,
Everything was the king. So the kings were ruling the countries. The kings had the kingdoms. Like there was no queendom. So everything was like, oh, there's the leader. It must be male, which you know is being overwritten in most places. That's changing. There's going to be, you know, well, it's not really kings and queens anymore. We don't really have nations like that, but in the places where there are women coming up in power and not only companies but in politics, like women are taking leadership roles. So that is all changing.
True.
I guess you can say masculinity. I'm charging my phone, so my audio might be messed up. Is a good kind of like the protector, like a protector of people. Like let's say back in the caveman, like if a tiger came, the guy was the protector. Sometimes
Mm,
like that.
yeah.
But is that more of a masculinity thing, or was that just because I feel like back in those days, stuff was a lot more primal, instinctual.
Like
You
the
know what I
animal.
mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of the times, a lot of things, your typical quote unquote caveman was doing was in order to attract a mate. You know what I mean? It wasn't, or to ward off predators or enemies or whatever. Like it wasn't masculinity for the sake of just being masculine. There was some other purpose attached to it, uh, which almost is animalistic in nature. You know what I mean?
Mm,
I posted something on my Facebook. This has to do with masculinity. Kurt Cobain was just sitting in his chair at his one of his concerts playing the guitar, and he stopped playing because he saw a guy like abusing a girl, and he took his guitar and he walked up to him and pointed at him, and he's like, "Yeah, you get out," and everyone started clapping, and they kicked that piece of trash out of his at his concert. I thought that was, sticking up. When you see it,
Mhm.
put people on
Face
blast,
on
call it out.
face on.
Dude. All right. So on that note, because that definitely does need to happen a little bit more in society, just in like in general. We can go ahead and just hop into toxic masculinity. There's so
If
much
I
to be
could
talked
say,
about.
yeah,
Go ahead.
say
What's you
one
got
more
it?
thing about masculinity is, I'm not playing the victim, but I do think in our society is overlooked that guys can be very vulnerable sometimes, and they can be very, very emotional, and we're not always the Superman. We have moods when we're down, and like we're not all, just kind of like, yeah, we're the man, we can take control, we're powerful, we can just be just as vulnerable as every other person,
Yeah,
and that
that's what
makes
this portion is about pretty much. Like that's the biggest thing for me that
yeah,
I want to debunk because
yeah,
especially in this day and age where we're seeing at least more in society and more people are being more outspoken about mental health. Like so many things that I know guys don't want to talk about with each other, especially to another guy. Like I think we're more open to to women and whatnot about our problems at
yeah,
times, as long as they're not like someone we're, I guess, romantically attracted to.
yeah.
Um,
I
But
saw this YouTube video, and it had, this was all fake, it was in public, and you saw, a guy pushing a girl and whatever, talking smack to him, and all these people were like, no, like, like, get out of here. And then there was one where the girl was like pushing the guy, slapping him, and not many people came
mm,
to like help the guy at all.
yeah, that's that's a weird situation.
Yeah,
Like that's something that I'm sure happens a lot, but it's just like again, society thinks that you're supposed to be the tough guy and whatnot.
yeah,
But
yep.
yeah, let's go ahead and define what toxic masculinity is. I just want one definition. I can bring up a definition, or someone wants to.
My definition of toxic masculinity
What you
is
got?
abuse of power and belittling people because of their status. I think that's one of them.
Mm-hmm. Light. That's a good definition. What you got, Light? Let me go
Start
Geo
off at
first.
a
Geo goes first, and then I go Light.
all right.
me first. Wow. All right. I don't really have a true definition to
Or an example.
toxic masculinity. I would say that
Bless you.
bless you. That was extra. Okay. Um, bless you. Everybody sneezing here. That's cute.
God bless.
I'll be.
Uh,
Low key, God bless.
okay, God bless. Well, really, toxic masculinity is anytime. I would say an example of it. Anything that would, anything that you would notice. And I don't know why I'm having such a tough time in these explanations
No,
today.
I feel like it's legitimate because I felt the same way.
I, like I can see I can see examples of it in my head. I'm just like if I want to key in on something, but I would say basically anytime like a normal male trope is used to define someone as in a negative light. So for instance, we were talking about your manly men, you know, Nate pointed he was like, oh, you're skinny skater dude that wears baggy t-shirts and whatnot, and like an emo punk kid. That's not masculine, you know, stuff like that. Where it's anything that you're gonna take your typical male traits and skew them so other people are looked poorly at. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I think a lot some stuff has to do about some personality traits too, and toxic masculinity of how they like present themselves.
I agree with that.
Mhm.
Like,
And then, like we said, like your appearance doesn't describe your masculinity.
yeah,
Big, strong muscles, you know.
yeah. All right, Light, you got a definition or example, and then we could just jump into discussing all these different things.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's technically a definition, but I know a clear-cut example of toxic masculinity would be misogyny as a whole.
What is that word? I'm so sorry. Massage. I hear it all the time, and I'm like, massage.
So it's basically, uh, an example of it would be like earlier how you described how things used to be back in like the 50s and 60s when the man would be the breadwinner, he'd be the one with the job, and then the woman would be like stay home with the kids, you know what I mean? That type of stuff. Or just like misogyny would be saying some stuff like, oh, women don't deserve the same types of chances men get, or uh saying a woman can't do a lot of the things men can do just because she's a woman. That would be an example of misogyny. So, uh, but misogyny is very prominent in American society, and it's definitely an example of toxic masculinity because a lot of times people uh, think they have to be misogynistic in order to be viewed as manly men, and that's not true.
Yeah.
So,
I think there's maybe like an innate, uh, like just being biological of like, well, you see a really strong guy, 7 foot tall, 300 pounds, jacked, like whoa, like he, just looks like an alpha. But then again, your appearance doesn't determine you as an alpha male, at all.
I think there might
Kind of
be
but
some weight to
like
that.
David and Goliath. Like Goliath was shorter and that, but I don't think it's wrong to say that they're in society just like how with tigers, any type of species, there may be like an automatic instinct of like, whoa, that dude looks a little alpha because just like how biology is.
I
well,
I partially agree with that. Just because that's something I've heard as far as there's the natural instinct within women. I don't know how legitimate this is, but I've heard that
Yeah,
the whole thing, we want to protect her, we want this, based on, because
someone who
like in
looks
the
like they can
past,
provide for the family, like a
yeah, like
provider.
things like that. Like I understand that. I don't know how true it is. I don't know if we're moving away from that based on how society is changing. If that has any effect on, I guess, how that would change women genetically in that
And me
case.
saying that, like, I'm not hating on anybody. I just
Yeah,
kind of like just any species.
yeah. So I definitely agree with what you're saying, at least partially. I'm not sure
Yeah,
how legitimate it is and if it's going to continue in that direction or not. But
yeah. In today's society, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
because I'm like, it seems like men are getting weaker and weaker in that regard. Like, as I think Gio was saying, like it's becoming like the smart guy, the billionaire guy, and so it seems like stuff is shifting. So I'm curious if being big and strong is just going to be unnecessary in the future, if we're
Because you can
just
be a skater guy and be masculinity because you present yourself, and even know that like maybe you're a skinny skater guy, like you make your presence known, like your presence is known, like you may like appearance, then you come talk to the guy, like you can feel his presence of like, yeah, this guy,
Mhm,
knows what's up.
mhm.
but I'm gonna play devil's advocate right here, just for a minute. Why does that matter? You know what I mean? Why,
Yeah.
if there's a room full of people, why do I need to emanate a masculine aura? You know what I mean? Like why is
Like
that
the
necessary
stereotypical
for
masculine aura or masculine aura
just
in general.
any in general? Because we're not hunter gatherers anymore. Like I'm not out in the wilderness every day fending for food, fighting for my life, to come back to a cave to protect myself from the rain. uh, we're an advanced civilization, we're intelligent, we're an intelligent species, you know? Uh, and we're ever changing, we're ever evolving. So if why do I need to present myself a certain way in order to be taken seriously by a specific group of people or anyone in general? You know what I mean? Like being myself should just be enough.
Oh,
Being the
you are
person that,
enough.
well, I know, but I'm just saying, being the person that I want to be should be enough for whoever wants to associate with me. If you want to associate with me or you want to form some kind of relationship with me, then I shouldn't have to
Be someone you're not.
meld and change myself for you. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. Like I say, always working better. So I'm not. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but it's like, your physique, physicality, your height doesn't define like your masculinity. Like just kind of being with that person, you just kind of like you can just feel that like, this
Yeah.
guy's masculine, or just in a sense that he's it's kind of hard to explain, but like you just know like you just being around him, he's just a good guy. He's
I
just a
I
uh,
I get all that, but what I'm saying is, if I show up to a party in a tutu, it doesn't mean that I can't beat somebody's ass. You know what
that's
I mean?
yeah.
So like that's what I'm kind of what I'm getting at is why does it matter what my appearance looks like? Why does it matter the type of way that I present myself? If I'm not like walking into a room and trying to belittle or demean somebody, like why does it matter what I'm wearing, what I look like, how many girls I got on my arm? Like none of that should matter. Like you should judge me for my character. You know, we're not animals. You know what I mean? Uh, like I just like I get the whole concept of masculinity, but again, like depending on who you ask, I may be the right or wrong person to ask about it because I feel like it's a little redundant. Um,
I
because
feel like
I
you're
def
masculine in like your own ways. Like I like
yeah
anime and stuff, and I feel like when I was younger, I was like nervous to tell people about that. I don't know what like, and then like you got older, you're just like, hey, this is me. I
Yeah.
like anime. If you can't appreciate who I am, then then that's on you. But this is what I like, and and I can see like changing your ways maybe could just be a better you, and stuff like that. And because I call it character learning, you should try to be the better person than you were yesterday and stuff. But like you're right, like maybe I walk into a party and stuff. Maybe I like all this other stuff. Maybe like not typical guys or like this stuff. And I think that is changing. Like the nerds, I guess are like like they like it's kind of like oh it's cool to be a nerd now, or like it's like but back in the day oh you're a nerd with glasses you get picked on and shit. Now it's just like adapting that like yeah dude like everyone's cool not
yeah, and
stereotypical.
I have a story relating to that specifically, but I'm not trying to like get on a soapbox here, so I
Oh
want
bro,
like other people to talk.
that's why we're here, bro.
So
I'm cool with it. Gio's cool with it.
as far as like the whole nerdy thing in relation to masculinity and toxic masculinity, I am definitely uh I've done some very toxic things in my life.
Same.
Nobody comes out of the womb woke. You know what I mean? Like we're not just, knowledgeable to the world and society around us, growing up. We have to learn, we have to make mistakes. And, I was the oldest of five.
I
You
didn't
know,
know
my
that.
dad my dad wasn't around a lot. And when it came to role models, all I had was
Hmm.
whatever other kids were talking about at school and then what I saw on TV. You know what I mean?
I agree.
So,
Yeah, I know
so,
exactly what you're talking about.
so um, you see a lot of misogyny and you see a lot of toxic masculinity in the media portrayed as being manly. And I remember trying to basically be somebody that I wasn't. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to be the gangster, the thug, I wanted to be a womanizer because I thought all that shit was cool. You know what I mean? Because people were telling me that the things I actually did like weren't cool or weren't masculine. So I put on this facade and tried to be somebody that I wasn't. And I pissed a lot of people off. It worked. It did work for what I wanted to do at the time, but it wasn't a good look. Like I wasn't a good person. And uh, you know, Um,
Yeah, I know. Like, yo, I like to watch speed runs. Speed runs for Mario or GoldenEye. And stuff on YouTube. Sometimes, oh, that's hey, I like what I like, man. I like that once a year do that charity thing for like Super Nintendo games. They do speed runs and stuff. And I
Hmm.
like to
yeah,
watch that. If someone like belittles me and saying, "Well, that's stupid. Why would you like?" That's what I like, man. If you don't like me, I get the fuck out of my way. Or, if I'm
yeah.
not, I don't people who
But
don't
but
even like.
like being an impressionable youth, it's harder to say something like that. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Because you don't have to, but you end up kind of just paying attention to what a lot of people are saying and doing and thinking, and you kind of
a
just
role
want to
model.
fit in or blend in.
Having
Uh,
a role model is a lot, and like you said, Brian, like you think society tells you have to be this way, so you think you have to be this way when you just kind of want to do your own thing.
yeah, uh, I honestly believe that, you know, like I don't conform anymore to some societal view or standard. I do what I want, I wear what I want, I say what I want, and it's not with the intention of hurting anybody,
Yeah.
but I just want to be who I want to be. You know what I mean? I'm not worried. I'm not living my life with the worry that I need to impress someone. Uh, if the right people are gonna ride with me,
Yeah.
um, so
I think
that's
that
just me. Like
yeah,
I'm not worried about displaying some super masculine presence or quote unquote masculine presence. If I want to wear pink jeans tomorrow in a room full of a room full of like sweaty biker dudes, I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean?
I think that
Like,
also has to be the way that you carry yourself is masculine for wearing any of that. You carry yourself with confidence, and if I want to wear this, I'll fucking wear it.
so that's kind of what I got.
Yeah. And I feel like
Um,
also you can change your ways maybe to be more masculine, but this also could just be to be a better person. Like with me, blah blah, taking pills, being fucking, going down a dark path, and then just fighting my way out. You kind of see the guy. Maybe he's like on the road, his long hair, and then he's like, you know what, I want to change my life. He gets cleaned up, you know, does what he wants to do. I guess you can say that is, I mean, just masculine, kind of like manning up and stuff. But I mean, you can't man up on anything. Sometimes you do medicine, but I think a big thing about it is just like bettering yourself, you know?
Hmm. Gio, you have anything
yeah, I
else
just
to add before I ask another question? Hello?
I think he's
Hello?
I think he's
What?
worried about pie.
Hello? Hello? Can y'all hear me?
Can you hear
yeah, I
me?
can hear you.
I
Okay.
got you.
I said, Gio, you want to ask another question, or you want to say something before I ask another question?
Nah, you can ask the next
Yeah.
question.
Okay. So,
I'll just say one thing. Society says something about what masculinity, and then it's yeah.
see that again, Nate? I didn't hear you.
Uh, I think society presents itself what is masculine, and then like what Brian says, I have to do what society says. Whereas like you just be you, If you like
Yeah.
to do some of this stuff, do it. If not, and I think when you're younger, you're kind of scared of doing that. But like as I've gotten older, I'm just kind of like more like I do what I want.
Hmm.
I'm a good person. You are enough, you know, and yeah. Don't worry about what other people think about you.
Yeah.
There's a good thing from Mr. Freeney from Boy Meets World is
You
that
know?
if you let people's
You know?
perception of you dictate your behavior, you never grow as a person.
There is a lot of truth to that, which it's hard. And
It is a challenge,
I
yeah.
think the challenge behind that is
Sometimes.
really, and this is kind of like part of my next question, but I'll start off with this. How in tune are y'all with y'all's emotions? And like, what did it take to get to that point? Because I think emotions and what is stereotypically masculine, the emotions that you're supposed to feel or are allowed by society, stereotypically uh, happiness, and whatnot. But like usually anger is like the more masculine shown emotion. How in tune with your emotions are you? When's the last time like you cried?
Hitting rock
Oh,
bottom and shit. Yeah, hitting a lot of rock bottoms and just learning from that.
I cry every time I watch Daredevil.
Yeah.
All right,
every time you watch who?
we're going to end the
Yo,
podcast.
not gonna lie, there's
You
one
talking about
movie I
who?
cried. Manchester by the Sea is one of the depressing movies I ever saw in my life. And then on Gladiator, I'll shed some tears. Maximus Decimus Aurelius, like the wheat field, and just goes in and like, yeah, that's emotional, man. That I love that soundtrack. I say like the best soundtrack ever made. The original score.
Original score, yeah.
Tevin, come back, man.
Liz Garner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, to seriously answer your
I
question,
hate y'all, man.
What?
to seriously answer your question, I don't know specifically the last time I cried, but I would say that I've got a pretty decent grip of my emotions. Like I know when I'm feeling certain emotions, and I don't try to hide it, at least not from myself. You know what I mean? Like if I need to vent to somebody, I'll do it. If I need to go see a therapist, I'll go do that. If I need to like find some constructive use of my time, you know. And I think just it's like when you're open with yourself about your emotions, it's easier to be open with other people. Um, like, because if you're just denying the fact that you're feeling some type of way in the first place, I don't feel like you're gonna go seek out counseling or go vent to somebody else, especially if you're in
Yeah.
that place of denial. Uh,
Yeah.
but
Therapist isn't a weakness. Medication isn't a weakness. You think you can man up and stuff, be a man. I don't need that medicine. No, dude, you gotta get your shit done. And I have some times where I'm just kind of like, I don't like to play woe with me, but just kind of like, man, why can't shit just fucking work? Like, can't I just try to set up my internet and he's like, whoop, it's connected. Your internet's good. Why does it have to be like I have to fucking find this server, go to this and that? You're like, oh, what the fuck? But like, I've questioned like my face sometimes. I feel sad. I'm like, whatever. But I know God's always with me, and that wick still burns. Like sometimes the flame can be really high, but that wick's always burning, and God's always there for you.
Mhm. I was kind of lost on the internet service piece.
Oh, oh, that thing, like I wanted to play Third Strike or whatever, and then so I had to reset on my internet, and then I went to play it, and it just says syncing stats, like it won't let me play online. And I'm like, really, dude? This is probably like one out of a million things bug I could get, and it just happened to me. Like, can't shit just fucking work? Like,
What?
oh man,
Oh man, bro. PlayStation be messing with people though.
plays with my emotions.
Gio, what you got, man?
Look, I forgot the original question already because of we need to
How
fucking
we're bouncy right now, but it's all
like
good.
uh,
How in tune are
uh,
you with your emotions, and like what's the last time you cried? Like, because the whole thing is like crying isn't necessarily a masculine thing to do.
I'm more in tune with my emotions than I've ever been as I've gotten older. There was a point in my time, a point in my life, I want to say maybe when I was like 16 or 17, where I was just like, you know what? I wasn't crying anymore. I would cry maybe, no, I would cry once a year. It wasn't 17. I was out of high school. Maybe I was like 19. I would cry one time a year. And I haven't for like 6 or 7 years. It was like sometime in April. So like March, April. So somewhere right now, I would just go in my room. I would close the door. I would lay down on my bed, face in a pillow, and cry for 10, 15 minutes. That's the only time I would cry for the entire year. And it was just an ugly ass cry. It was like
snotting and
gross.
all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was ugly, but that's the only time I would cry. Like, and I wanted to say until I was like 25, 26, I was like, you know what? That's really, really bad to do. Like, it's just, I need to figure something out because like there is something entirely. And honestly, like what I found, like it didn't. I think they kind of coincided. I ended up finding like I started caring about like music more. I started caring about uh, I found like the show scene and the festival scene, and that got being
Yeah.
human. Uh, I cared about more things. I cared about people more. I always wanted. I would say I always wanted the people, coaching and my friends stuff like that. I always wanted everybody to get better at what they're doing. Most of that was like sports, but I was never really like an emotional attachment to, am I happy that I'm happy for them. I am. I would say, not. I can't say happy. Happy was always a part of it. Like I would say just being more emotionally connected in the sense of understanding what my body is doing, how anxiety affects me, how uh you know like I was never embarrassed. I'm stopped being embarrassed by a lot of things, but like being nervous, how that affected me, and I paid attention to it. So
Yeah.
yeah, it took a while to that part of myself that I eventually did.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't mind me giving an example,
What you got?
I think an example also about stuff of, I guess you can say masculinity or just going as a person. Like I work with kids with autism with disabilities for 3 years. I was put in a lot of crazy situations, like 4-person restraints. Just hearing the kids' backstories, where they came from, having fucking degenerate, parents and stuff, and I was like, I kept my cool, and I was like, all right, I did this and stuff, and then a year down the line, when I talked to my therapist, it was like, I was okay admitting that that shit really fucking shook me up. I have maybe some slight forms of trauma, because I'd be like, oh, I don't want to, play what was me and be a crybaby, and that shit didn't get to me. But then I learned it's okay to admit to yourself that, yeah, dude, that shit, like, kind of fucked me up a little bit,
Yeah.
and then you learn that as character to build you up. That could be with like any subject or anything. Like, oh, my parents got divorced, my grandma's died. I'm not gonna cry. That's what typical people do, And then it's okay to my therapist is that, yeah, dude, that stuff kind of really really does get to you a little bit sometimes, and it's okay to admit that. Because it's okay to admit that, to be sad sometimes. Because you think you have to man up, be like, oh, my parents got divorced. I'm gonna be that typical person that like, plays the victim and shit. But then my therapist is just like, yeah, dude, it's okay to feel sad. I mean, I only see my dad like twice a year and stuff, like, it's like, oh, I'm a grown up, it's not gonna affect me. If I was a kid, it would, but it's like, yeah, man, that, kind of like, it's kind of, can get to you sometimes, and
Yeah.
that's okay to admit that.
Yeah. Dude, I appreciate you sharing that. Because like
Yeah, no worries,
I
man.
think that's definitely the truth.
Yeah.
For me,
And the thing
go
was, it
ahead. You got
wasn't
it.
like it was like a year later or something that really kind of like, really shook me up and stuff a little bit, or kind of like longer than I kind of realized on my job,
Hmm.
like come home from work and drinking and shit and just ripping Jack. And I was okay, then like, later down the line, it just kind of shook me up. But I also remember that I saved a lot of kids' lives and taught them a lot of good stuff to, basically to learn them, not to go to jail. Like, if someone steps on an ant and you like ants, it doesn't mean you can go and like push the person and beat them up, like, or if someone cuts in the front of the line with you, doesn't mean you can go up in their face and say, hey, you cut in front of me, and start like a big scene and stuff. And,
Mm,
just to be very mindful of everything.
mm.
And yeah.
It's definitely good to teach people at an early age how to deal with things. Because like in that specific example
Yeah.
already, it's like, yeah, you would be angry if someone did something like that, but like you're there to teach
Yep.
them that like, yo, you're not supposed to act this way.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Also, me, like, think before I speak, because sometimes I get in that mode where I'm like, all right, I don't care. I'm just gonna fucking walk out of work. I don't give a fuck. Like, and then you kind of where I say some stuff I don't want to say on Facebook, and then I'm just like, all right, why? Then like a day later, I'm like, why the fuck would I ever say that? I guess I don't. They say a prisoner of the moment. Oh, that. Yeah, I don't know if I would believe in all that, but like, you just get in that zone where you're just like, all right, dude, I'm just gonna walk out of work. I'll find another job. But if you take a deep breath and like you'll be all right,
yeah, you gotta think all that through. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
so I got rent to
Yeah, like
pay, got all this, all the,
think before I speak.
yeah,
I have to do better at that, and just controlling my emotions a little bit, and just like, yeah.
yeah. Um, yeah. For me, Like 2 weeks ago, I woke up crying. I don't know why. Like my freaking dreams just be doing some weird stuff sometimes. And I just wake up, I'm just like, oh, okay, this is the way it is. But the one weird situation for me, and like I don't know if you guys had these situations at all, but like, what was it? Back in 2017, I was doing track and field. Went to nationals and went to nationals for high jump. And like at least 3 of the nights that I was there, Nate, can you lower your volume real quick?
Yeah.
It's
I'll just
leaking a
mute
little
it
bit.
because I took
All
out
right.
my headphones. 'Cause
Okay. But 3 of like the 5 or 6 days, I don't know how long we was there. We went down to Florida. Nationals was down there, and we were down there for like a week. But like out of 3 out of like 5 days or 6 days, whatever, we were down there. Like at night, I cried like of happiness, and like that was so weird to me. I was like, I worked so hard up to this point to make it to where I wanted to be, and like 3 nights, like every single time, I'm just like I cried. I was like, oh, I'm so thankful. I'm so happy I'm here. I worked so hard for this, blah blah blah. And it's just like I've never done that for anything else, like ever. I don't know if that's like a consistent thing across like all guys or all masculine presenting people or whatever, but I don't know. For me, that was like super weird. And thinking back on
I
it, like that's like one of the happiest moments of my life.
It's
I've had
okay
some
to be
moments
thankful.
like that.
Yeah.
It's okay to be thankful.
And
I've had some moments like that. When I got my, my first place where I didn't have roommates, you know what I mean? Like I cried. I literally just went outside on my back deck and stared up at the moon, and I cried.
Start howling.
yeah.
Just stare at the moon.
Yeah. And then that's fucking sick, dude.
Let him go. Let him go.
Like,
Let him go. Let him go. Let him go. Go ahead, look it.
Yeah, go look
but
at
no, like first of all, I'm a very emotional type of person, right? And I'm not like yeah, I'm joking, but I'm not really joking because like one of my favorite things to do, which I'm sure a lot of people would consider very non-masculine, is I like to go watch the sunset. It's one of my
Oh, I love
favorite
sunsets, bro.
like, but like
How
sunsets and like a big moon with like a clear sky. Those are like two of my favorite things. And I just remember the night that like I was in my house, no roommates for the first time, was paying all my bills by myself. And I didn't have shit in this house yet. But I walked outside and I was like, yo, this is me. You know what I mean? So like that I was just like super happy uh to be able to be in that type of position. And I know it's like kind of silly because like a lot of people take stuff like that for granted, or it's not really a big deal because they've never like not been in a position like that. You know what I mean? But to me, it was a big deal. So like I've cried over like tears of joy over something serious like that,
Hmm.
and I've also cried tears of joy over like things that again could be considered not masculine, but are definitely not as monumental. Like I cried tears of joy when Cap lifted Mjolnir at the end of Avengers
Oh man,
Endgame.
Yeah.
bruh.
Yeah. And then are you done, look it or
And then
Yeah.
once the boom, oh man, once
yeah.
Like I didn't
that
cry
moment,
when Iron Man died, but I cried when Cap lifted that hammer.
I definitely cried when Cap lifted that hammer, dog. It was
Yeah.
I thought it was about to be curtains for Thor for a second. I was like, "There's no way somebody's got to hit him with me on it." I was
Yeah.
like, "Do that."
And then just to keep it real for a second, and then we'll go back to that. I feel like I have something I have to work on is that when everything's going your way, you're so happy, you're crying, but then like you feel like there's something wrong, like a self-sabotaging behavior. And then sometimes you're like, no, dude, I can be happy. I am happy. I don't have to like, just think of like, oh, I'm going to get this, but no, I have to do this, that. Like, no, dude, I am fucking killing it. And you have to admit to yourself that you are a motherfucking ass boss. You fucking represent and not have that self-sabotaging behavior. Like, yo, things are good.
Hmm.
Like, I have to,
So,
like, yeah,
so sometimes you just gotta count the wins. I feel
yeah,
like people I feel like people are
exactly.
are very prone to counting the losses, but sometimes you got to take a step back.
Fuck yeah.
And when the sun shines and the clouds part, sometimes you just got to look up and take a moment
I
Stop.
am cool.
like
Stop.
this.
Yo,
Shine.
low key, I like how like light your hair matches like your headphones a little bit. A little blue in your headphones and your hair's blue. It's a good contrast, bro.
That's cute.
I call it how
Y'all,
I see it.
But what y'all
Yeah.
saying is definitely true though. Like we are
Yeah.
definitely a loss adverse uh what is it? Animal type, I guess. I don't know. We don't
Yeah,
like
I
to
don't mean to get
lose. That's what I'm trying to
like
get at.
the whole caveman thing, but I feel like back in the caveman, what did we worry about? Getting food, being a protector, getting fire, just on survival. And then now since our society has evolved so much, we just find stuff to worry about like, oh man, dude, I spilled my coffee, or oh my gosh, why did this girl ghost me? We just find stuff like that. Like our biologically sometimes just maybe can go negative, and you just have to be aware and mindful of that, and just be like, kind of like squash those automatic negative thoughts and stuff, and
Mhm.
then you have that innate positivity.
Yeah. Where? All right, that's all I got for y'all. Y'all want to hop into anything else? Otherwise, we can get to closing vibes.
I'll say something. I'll shed some light real quick.
Yeah.
Stop making people feel soft for
Ooh,
expressing their emotions.
yes.
Stop hounding people for being who they want to be and liking things they want to like. Like, in all honesty, like it's cool to have positive masculinity and whatnot, but it's a societal construct. Just be good people. You know what I mean? Like why we gotta tear each other down? Why we gotta hold each other to some like ridiculous standard that ultimately doesn't matter? Just be good people.
I wouldn't even say be good people. Just
Yeah.
be decent.
And
If you're decent, you're gonna be so much better than a lot.
yeah. Do you guys mind if I give my closing thoughts?
We're not closing just yet, man.
I mean on like the topic thing, or
Not closing yet.
yeah.
Not yet. We have Bree's cooking corner
Oh
now.
gosh, oh god.
Bree's cooking corner. All right, here we go. Hold on.
How do you make your
Activate.
video show like what's in front of you?
You
I don't
flip
know
the
if you can do
screen.
that in
On your
Discord.
phone, you flip your screen.
Well, if you don't mind me
Alright.
showing you this painting I
Here.
brought, I
And
got.
1 second. 1 second. The
You can prep
cooking
it.
corner.
Oh
Here
shit,
it
my
is.
fault, bro.
We have this nice, solid, homemade blueberry pie. Go ahead and get that in there. Oh,
You
yeah.
made the
Go ahead. You
crust?
tilt it.
No.
It looks like the
Like-
pie in like American Pie when he like humps it.
Yup. I'm going to fuck that pie up. Yes, I will.
That's a good pie.
That's exactly what that pie will turn into. But it's going to be
I think that
no.
pie was like apple. Yours is like cherry, so you're good.
Did you see the weaves on
Blueberry.
that? That thing was weaved
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
That was fucking
she did
sick,
that.
dude.
She did that. We're shrimp and grits is happening as well, but y'all might not see that.
Shrimp and grits and some pie, boy.
Yup. We're lit.
I've never had grits before.
All right.
What?
I've never had grits. So I know what you're about to say.
Your
Don't say it.
What am I
What's
gonna
wrong with
say?
that?
What's I
your.
gonna say?
Oh my
Did you
god.
say whore?
I said your.
Oh, your.
I can add the last
Uh,
3 words, 4 words.
Yeah, but nah, just grits. I don't know. The idea scares me.
What
Do
do
you
you mean?
do you
Okay,
like
say.
corn?
No, explain.
First of all,
Explain.
I'm not really a super big fan of corn. So,
Okay,
What's wrong with that? Nothing.
like,
just go ahead. Explain.
you know what I mean? The best breakfast food is eggs and bacon. And I'm just like, if
I
I
agree
got
on
my
bacon, but just eggs. Just eggs.
yeah, I don't know. And then there's so many like, oh, do you put sugar in your grits? Do you put salt and butter in your grits? Like there's like all these people different opinions on how you should eat them, and I'm just like, nah.
I mean,
let me
sugar
just-
and grits is sin, but like sometimes you let it run. Not really. Like we shun them, but they can do what they can do. Like I'm not doing it,
I switch it up every now and again. Sometimes I just go
but
plain. Sometimes salt. Sometimes
plain
butter.
grits.
Boy, sometimes you're eating to survive, not for
That is
flavor, bro.
that is torture. What you mean?
You're eating to survive.
Who is
But
eating?
if you
What are
gotta,
you
like
surviving
a
to
hash
eat?
brown
Like,
grit.
at this point
Like a
right now, Tab, you're surviving, and you're just like, I have grits.
Once upon a
I'm just gonna-
time. What are you saying, Nate?
Why even
What
cook
about
them
hash
if you just
browns?
gonna eat them?
Like
Why
hash
you even
browns
cook
from
'em?
McDonald's is like grits.
Nah,
Nah.
not at all.
Disregard that message.
Nate, stop! Don't try to save him. Hold up,
I
Tab,
I am
why are
under
you
the
cooking grits
philosophy.
season in a
Wait,
what?
is grits that pudding stuff, or am I thinking of hash browns?
It looks like, think of like really fine oatmeal, but it's not
Oh, I had the
oatmeal.
wrong picture to go in with. Yeah, grits. That stuff's like weird, dude. I have it, but it's kind of I don't fuck with it, you know.
Y'all, all y'all can go elsewhere.
All right, can we
If
finish this fight real quick, and then look at you can
yeah,
go. What you got? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me, Gio?
What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Why would you even cook the grits if you're not going to season the grits? Why?
Okay, one, I've cooked grits maybe twice in my life. Two,
Okay.
I'm not saying in instances where I've cooked grits, I've ate them that way.
Okay.
That's never happened. That's never happened.
Okay.
But you ever wake up like 4 hours later after the grits been cooked and the pot's turned off and there's no more water in the pot, and you
Oh
just get
yeah.
that mashed up lump?
Yeah, it's a lump. You're not supposed to leave it on simmer.
Low
Yeah.
key.
I take
Oh,
that and
you
eat that. No salt,
you
no butter,
you-
no sugar.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with
How
that?
are you not a superhero? How are you not like? No wonder you went to finals, didn't you? High jump. You're just eating broccoli. Like you gotta be strong. Your stomach didn't just turn off on you.
I'm
You
under
just
the belief. I'm under the belief that if something is nasty before you gotta add something to it, you shouldn't be eating it.
It's not nasty though. It's just
it's not
it's just
nasty.
flavorless pretty much. It's like water. It's like you don't want to drink
It's
water, but you would drink some Propel. Like
Like I don't like grits, but I'll put
sort of
ketchup on to make it
not
taste.
really. Like grits you want to add flavor. Like, do you want to cook your chicken and then not see? I mean, do you not eat chicken or you eat plain chicken,
Bro, first of all,
unseasoned
chicken
chicken?
has a flavor. Chicken has a flavor.
thank
All
you.
right.
But I'm saying, you said if you don't season chicken, how does it taste to you?
Like chicken. Like what you talking about?
Does it taste good? Like
Guys, all I know is that when I think of grits, I think of going to the Cracker Barrel, and it's always like a side of grits. And I'm like, nah, dude, I don't want grits. Can I change that? Those might be $1. And I would commit to that $1 extra not to get grits. because I
To
don't
not get grits. You saying
I'm
grits
like,
ain't
that's
worth $1?
Yeah,
the grits rock. He over here talking about if it tastes good beforehand, I'm not
it is a
gonna
good
do nothing.
bodybuilding meal though.
He
which is
doesn't.
good.
He doesn't season. You know what? I'm thinking you don't season chicken no more. Light. That's all I'm thinking. Hey, it's weird stuff. You talking about?
You never ate boiled chicken?
Ooh, that's a hard pass.
No,
I've
that's good. Put in a stew. Put it
Can
in
I
like a,
jab
okay,
you in the
but
throat?
by
How
itself,
about
Nate,
that?
but like
What?
boiled chicken without any other substance. Like if it's in a soup, yeah, that makes sense. Like
what's wrong
I've
with boiled chicken?
Nah, boil that chicken. Put a raw chicken breast in some water. Boil that John.
No
And then
chicken
eat
boil?
it.
Nothing to flavor? Straight chicken?
nothing with nothing
What's
on
wrong?
I
I'll
hate
eat
it here. I hate it here.
it. Nate, show us the painting you got.
Oh, yeah, it's my closing thing. This might get, yeah, this, okay. So, guys, after I was in Impatient Stuff, I saw this painting.
Mhm.
Let me know if you can see it. All right. Can you see it?
Can you back up?
Get back up.
Backing up. Backing
Oh.
up. Tilt down.
Can you guys see it?
Move it to your left, I think, or your right. All right.
Down, move
I
it
did-
down some.
Rotate us. Go landscape.
I don't know how to do that.
Just turn your phone.
Take your phone and do
Turn it 90 degrees.
Oh,
90 degrees.
Yeah,
you.
there you go.
He
You see
said,
it
"I
now?
don't know how to."
Yeah, like
I'm
hold it like a
hurt."
picture, like you're taking a picture of it.
you see it now?
Yeah, if you can move
Yeah.
up a little bit closer,
You
you could probably see
you
it
can
a bit
move
better.
forward.
All right,
All
tilt
right,
down.
tilt it down a little bit, a little more.
All right, what you got?
All right. So this painting is called Landscape of Icarus. And I don't know if you guys noticed it, all the way in the right corner, you see Icarus's feet
In the
in the
bottom right,
ocean. Yeah, do you see that?
tilt it down.
Tilt it turn it to the left a little bit, or slide to the left. Slide to the left.
To
other
your
way.
right.
Other way.
Okay, so I was looking in the wrong
To your
direction
right.
then. Keep going to your right. You said in
To
the
your
bottom
right.
by the
More.
horse thingy or in the ocean? By the
The
boat?
ocean. Hold on.
I'm not seeing these feet.
Zoom in. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, there
my
it is.
man's in the water.
Yeah, we was going to see that.
So take a good look at it. So it's a painting.
Like a seagull.
So the main thing is that Icarus, he fell and had a tragic death, but that's not the main focus of the picture. Like, you had to look hard to see it. So what it means is that whatever happens in life, life moves on. Like, don't worry about whatever people think about you. They might notice it for a second or two, but then life goes on. Like, if you spill your coffee, you're like, oh shit, all these people think about me. But don't keep worrying about that. Make that destroy your whole day, because in reality, people are going to forget that. So don't spend up hours of the night worrying about what people think about you, because at the end of the day, no one really cares. Just keep moving forward and learn from your mistakes. I'll put it in the I'll put the video that explains it in our chat, man.
Okay. If you send me a clear picture of that, I will use that.
Right now?
Just sometime within the next 3
Okay,
days. Yeah.
It really spoke to me, because I was like, oh shit, dude. It was like a good sunset to light. I was a little manic and bought it, but I was like, yeah, dude, that's just a good one.
Hey, it's a good purchase.
I think it was before Impatient, but it was good.
Alrighty. Anything else? Otherwise, I'm gonna get some jams in here. Do your shout outs. Call it good.
Say my rap again.
Oh, Nate, please no.
No. No rapping.
Might have to give us a different song, not the same one. Alright, sounds like nothing else. Alright, we're gonna do some shout outs.
What I love about
You have a shout out? Oh, watch stream.
Shout outs. Shout it out.
Holla.
Alrighty. Let's enter the stream again. Episode 14 in the books. Talked about masculinity. We bounced around a little bit, but want to keep it organic. It's been fun. But we're gonna allow you guys to have an opportunity to do some shout outs, whatever y'all want to talk about. Shout out. If it's NCAA tournament, sure, shout that out, whatever. Starting with whoever wants to go.
I'll go. Shout out to my friend Manal from India. Shout out to Spooky Astronauts on YouTube. Follow her. And just shout out to life, living, y'all. And shout out to Mortal Kombat coming out. And then shout out to the Justice League movie I'm watching. I'm like 3 hours deep and like 0.25%. And do you guys ever see that Jamaican accent Vine when the girl tries to make a Jamaican accent?
Mm-mm.
I put that on the stream. She goes like, "We're nasty." She says something so funny. I'll put that in the. it's yeah, man. Just shout out to all you guys. Just the opportunity to be here and talk about our lives. And I do feel like people are watching this, and hopefully it helps their life out. And yeah, be you, man. Masculinity doesn't describe about your appearance; it describes about your heart, and you just gotta fucking kill it. And you are enough. You are enough. God bless.
Word. Whoever, jump to it.
All right, shout out, man. Shout out people who cry.
Mm.
Straight up, y'all the realest. We know it's tough.
But boy, does it stay hydrated. You can't cry.
Man, no, I couldn't. Shout out hydration.
Shout out to Cherry Pie.
Shout out, it was Blueberry.
Shout out to Blue.
Shout out Bree. Bree's Cooking Corner. She doing her thing over there. Shout out to the Yolk Whisperer. Shout out to what was it? It was Wetzel.
Winkle.
Winkle.
Winkle
Shout
is
out
in
Winkle
Philly.
in Philly. We're going there.
Delicious.
It's amazing. Go there for brunch. Tell him we sent you. Shout out Harrisburg. That city we're gonna go crazy in this Friday. Shout out my gang, Chrysalis Collective. We just dropped a new mix. Oh God, my voice cracked. We dropped a new mix on our SoundCloud. Check it out, Chrysalis Collective Music. About my sister, it was her birthday yesterday, 2 days ago. Oof. Shout out my niece, it was her birthday March 30th. Love you. Yeah. Don't be a jerk.
Shout out to God. Love you.
All right, Light. Bro, you're muted, bro.
He muted. He over here looking trying to look cool.
Bro, I had to sneeze. I didn't want to sneeze on stream. Anyway, shout out to the family of George Floyd.
Yes.
Stay strong. Keep your head up. You know, I know it's rough, but you know, there's a lot of people supporting you. Me being one of them. Shout out to my homie Bats for getting me this mug. It says "Dad jokes served fresh daily." So shout out to Bats for that.
Is there a dad joke in that?
Say what?
I said, is there a dad joke in that?
No.
No. What else? Shout out to my doppelganger for making my week interesting. But as we have come to see,
Light 3 pay you real.
there is only one true light.
Final.
Well, that was so corny. I guess that was the dad joke.
I'll tell you a dad joke.
And that's why I am the dark.
Every time it rains, the dad's always like, "Well, we needed that."
Yo, Dave, that was corny too.
And most importantly, shout out to everybody supporting the stream. I love all y'all. And I just want to make one last special shout out to anybody who's ever been told that they're not masculine for just anything in general. You are valid. You are worthy. Don't worry about other people's perceptions. It's a bullshit concept anyway. Just go out there, live your life, be you. Just be decent people.
Word.
Dad
All right.
joke.
And for
Every
me,
time my dad passes a construction site, he's always like, "Wow, they threw that up pretty fast."
Nate,
bro, I'm hurt.
muted. Just muted.
I'm hurt.
Mute.
Oh man. Bruh. Alright. Yeah. Shout out to
I love you, Nate.
shout out to y'all popping up and continuing on this journey with me.
You're my boy. You're my boy, Blue.
Oh my gosh. Shout out again, as Light said, to the people supporting, all the subscribers we got, people commenting, sharing stuff. There's a lot of people I still want to get on here, and if you haven't already reached out to me and you want to get on here, then please do. I'm pretty accepting of anybody. We can talk about just about anything. I know I'm not the only one that has questions in this world, and I would love to hear other people's perspectives on things. So if you know somebody here on the podcast or has been here on the podcast, and like reach out to them, reach out to me, reach out to somebody. It's simple as that. We'll get you on at some point. Can't say it's going to be next week, but we'll definitely work you in at some point. Yeah. Shout outs to my homie Trav. Y'all know Trav. His birthday was yesterday. Man getting old. Reminds me I'm getting old too. Shout outs to Joshy. I don't know if he's ever gonna watch this, but appreciate you, Jackman. Obviously I need a haircut. but it's a
Nah,
inside
let
joke.
that thing grow.
Let it grow, bro. People aren't fond
How
of
do you
this.
see what the people on the stream are saying, or is that only you?
On Twitch?
Well,
Oh, it's on Twitch.
Yeah, it's on Twitch.
you
It's
might,
not. It's not here in Discord.
you might, Tev, you might think you need a haircut right now. But
Oh,
just
I
give it
personally
some
don't.
time.
I personally don't.
It looks fly.
It'll grow on
Stop.
you.
All right.
Put the hoodie halfway back. There you go.
Just cover up everything. Here we go. I got you guys.
Hey, be masculine, be you, man. You want to wear long hair? Fucking wear it. Fucking go.
And shout outs to the stream.
What are they all saying?
They're saying a bunch of stuff. But
Nice.
as I said, appreciate everyone watching. If you guys haven't already
Yeah.
followed, subscribed, whatever, liked, shared, then please do so. Follow social medias at PerspekTev on every single relevant social media site. We would really appreciate it. We're slowly growing, but still nonetheless we're growing. So we're going to keep it moving. Keep on talking about things that are important to
And it
us.
is Autism Awareness Month. It is Autism Awareness Month. And I think
True.
Domestic Violence Month.
Shout out to
Awareness for
that.
awareness for mental health. All the vets out there, all the PTSD trauma survivors, love all you guys. You are enough. Keep your head up.
True. There's on that note, there was something interesting. Kind of done with shout outs. One of the many people I'm trying to get on here, one of my teammates, friends, this lady named Lexi, she posted something that kind of like brought up like a different idea of how we probably should go about looking at autism awareness.
Yeah.
Instead of calling it Autism Awareness Month, I think they want to change it to autism.
The spectrum, or
No, like awareness. They changed the word awareness to something else. I forget what exactly the word
I do
was.
know that the emblem of autism awareness is a puzzle piece, and they say if you met one kid with autism, you met one kid with autism, because every person with autism is different and they have their own swagger.
Acceptance. That's the word. Autism is acceptance month, which like that makes a little bit more sense to me because like it's always in the same thing. Not to shift the focus, but same thing with like the Black Lives Matter thing. It's like you can tolerate stuff, you can be aware of it and tolerate it, but like there's a difference between that and like I know this is happening. I need to accept that it's happening, and then we can move forward with that. Or I believe this is happening, and it should be more than just acknowledgement.
And then shout out to I support Asians. There's a lot of hate out there towards Asians, and just want to say all you guys, sorry for all that stuff's going. I think Amazon posted something on the thing about stand with them and lift people up, and I think Jeremy Lin talked about it, Olivia Munn.